Hi guys, welcome back. You're watching The Real Story on ZMC TV. I'm your host Anis Asif. Our guests tonight are Mr. Ali and Mr. Halim.
Thank you.
Back to the topic at hand, Kashmir. Okay Halim, the solutions. What can we as British Kashmiris do to bring the issue or highlight the issue more like?
The issue isn't just, as I was saying earlier, we were discussing, it's not an issue for just Pakistan, the neighbour of India. It's an issue for British Kashmiris, and there's a lot we can do. We need to raise awareness on the Kashmir issue. So that's by going to protesting, attending these protests, whether it's in London, whether it's in the city you live in. But also then Birmingham has the biggest Kashmiri population.
Absolutely.
So what we need to do is write to our MPs, write to our councillors, but then not just write to them, but also chase them up, see what's happening, what feedback they've got that we can then they can pass on to us, and then we can pass on to our colleagues. Yeah, but then also is trying to just get more people, families, kids, children, women to just attend these protests. So
it's more about awareness.
Yeah. But also what we need to do is not forget the issue that Kashmiri people are living in at the moment. It's been going on for 2 months.
Yeah, but would you not say that we need to concentrate on bringing it to an international stage as opposed to just a national stage?
Yeah, I think definitely what we need to do is try and get the MPs to speak to and get Pakistan, get the United Nations to have some dialogue between Pakistan and India, so we can try and resolve this issue that's been going on for over 70 years.
I think, in my opinion personally, I don't think the issue of Jammu and Kashmir is an issue for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. I think Pakistan is a secondary issue. What do you think?
I got to agree with Halim. I think you've made very good points.
Yeah.
What I would say, if I can add on, is anyone that is well informed, well educated about a topic, and especially if they see injustice, they will leave no stone unturned in order to get that resolved. So for me, I think these marches and demonstrations and also...
But do you not think we should concentrate on the issue of Jammu and Kashmir in general, as opposed to bringing Pakistan into the limelight, because we know the animosity that's there between India and Pakistan?
I agree, and I think as Kashmiris, whether you're as a part of Jammu, doesn't matter. I think we're all Kashmiris. I think we need to have a real sit down and look at what we want. And I firmly believe that if we say that people go out with this slogan that Kashmir is going to be with Pakistan, for those viewers that are listening, if you say that, then personally, these are my opinions, India will never even think about releasing or having a plebiscite. There's a chance of being independent.
Sitting around the table.
Why would you?
Why would they?
Independent is one thing, but giving it to they see it as an arch enemy. Why would you? So I think that the Kashmiris ourselves, we need to think about what do we want, and then
I'd say that India and Pakistan's relations, there's friction there. So I think that's a more...
We don't want to get involved in that.
I know obviously it's a game of, it should be ours, and they're saying it should be theirs. I think it should be that the Kashmiri people should be allowed to sit down and decide.
Absolutely.
Full stop.
We need to look at this from humanitarian issue.
Yeah.
People are dying there. There's reports coming in.
There's a media blackout. We know that.
There's reports coming in that so many children have gone missing from homes. So what we need to do is try and, like you said, get the media to be available again, so we can find out the real truth of what is happening in Jammu Kashmir.
I think the main point of call is to obviously allow the media back in, because they can show us what's going on, and I think from there, once the international community can see what's going on, because if there's a media blackout, what comes to mind?
I got to interrupt there. We've seen the genocide that took part in Burma.
Yeah.
What did the international community do? Turn a blind eye. When this curfew is lifted, atrocities will be, rape will have happened. You think that anyone's going to come and actually say, forget intervening, will they even say anything to India? Absolutely not, because you know why?
I think the main thing that needs to be allowed is obviously access for the media to go in, for people to see, and then if they don't take action, then that's another story. We can't presume that because it's happened prior that no one's going to take action. I think if you allow the media to go in, to get the view of the Kashmiri people, to find out what's been happening from the ground, and if there's 800,000 soldiers in Indian occupied Kashmir now, why are there 800,000 soldiers in Indian occupied Kashmir? How many soldiers is that? Is that one per house?
Yeah,
you've nearly got a million soldiers, so that's
one soldier per 8 persons,
or 7 or 8 people. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. So obviously something's going on.
I think what we need to do is try and get this to the international community to try and get it resolved as soon as possible. Yeah. And the only way we can do this,
Halim, how do we get it onto their agenda? I'll tell you how, by doing what you were saying, by making a big awareness campaign, going out onto the street, writing to the MPs. But the biggest thing is, for us, is we need to get our young generation informed about what is Kashmir, what the historical background and context was, and what the current issue is. Until we empower and educate our young people, and you know what, these demonstrations are short-term fixes. We need to have, like a seminar or a workshop, so even people of our age can go there and know what it is, because education is key.
Yes, it is.
If you can relate to what's happening and say these are your brothers and sisters that are being sort of exposed to such harshness and atrocities, I bet you everyone, you don't need to call for a demonstration, because they will be there.
I think in general it should just be, it's a humanitarian issue. It's not one for just the Kashmiri people, or one just for people of Kashmiri descent, British Kashmiris.
No,
I think it's an issue that you can bring people on board, not of Kashmiri descent, people with understanding that what's going on is wrong.
Anis, I'm going to interrupt there. If we can't get, you mentioned the largest diaspora in Birmingham, Kashmir. If we can't get our Kashmiri outside, no one else will walk with you. Forget whether it's a humanitarian or not. They say, look, they can't be bothered to come out. They can't be bothered to write to the MPs. At the moment, the Palestinian issue is far more appealing to go and demonstrate for young Kashmiris. Even before what's happened now, before I've sort of started reading up about it in the last few years, if there was a Palestine demo, I would be there. The Kashmir issue, I say, forget it. I'll tell you why. Because some of our political leaders who go on about, free Kashmir, they say one thing, but they don't mean it. And I want to say it as it is, whether you like it or not.
I think it's not an issue. I think it's an issue of humanity, because at the stage we're at now with what's happening in Jammu, it's an issue of, human rights.
Absolutely.
Bottom line is, if there's a media blackout, why is there a media blackout? Does that not make you question as to what?
It's surprising that the international community hasn't done more.
Yeah, very. Yeah. I agree.
I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why. Because the only one who is raising voice for the people of Kashmir is the Kashmiris themselves and Pakistan. So Pakistan generally at this moment in time, if we look at it, has very little influence. Forget about any other country, even within the Muslim world. Look at what Saudi Arabia doing. Look at the statements by Qatar.
I think on the 16th of September, China did actually push forward with obviously the issue of Kashmir as well, with Pakistan.
That is why Pakistan is saying our true ally is China. Turkey has also helped out, but where are the other countries? Where are the more liberal-minded, more into the human rights, the European and the Western world? Where are they when it comes to this? Because at the moment, Pakistan itself is in a very weak position.
I think because it's an issue that's in Asia and it's not an issue in the West, I don't think people, the international community are taking...
I'll tell you what it is. It's because it's India doing it. It's a powerful country. No one wants to... Because if you tell India to do something and they don't do it, unless you're willing to put a business embargo on them, cease trading with them, which no one is willing to do, then, it's just lip service. And I think we have to be a bit more frank with our discussions, really, because the people of Kashmir have suffered far too long, and we, like I said, as Kashmiris, need to know what we want to say and how we do it. And we got to go to the corridors of the EU Council, to the United Nations, and we can only do that if we know what we want. At the moment, we're not.
Yeah. I think earlier, as you were saying, Anis, if we unite together on the Kashmir issue, doesn't matter which political background you're from, but
or
we can
religious
unite
background
together.
or whatever it is.
Because like you said, it's a humanity issue that we all need to get involved and try and resolve it as soon as possible.
Halim, you're talking about unity. There were demonstrations only a few weeks ago where some groups were doing it on a Friday, some groups were doing it on a Saturday, and I was there. When I went, people were saying, okay, if you on the Saturday, don't go to the one on Friday. Friday ones, don't go to the on a Saturday because so-and-so is taking the lead on it. And you know what? If that is our attitude, if that is our way of behaving, you know what? I will
I
leave.
think the main issue is we need to unify. There's a lack of unity with this issue at the moment. There are people out there, you know, trying to make a difference with protesting, lobbying, but I think it needs a whole force behind it.
But how do we? I mean, you know, say unity is easier said than done. But how do we unify? You know,
that's something the communities need to look at. The Kashmiri community needs to look at. That's something they need to sort of sit down and decide. You know, how are they going to unify? How are they going to tackle this issue? You know, it's not a platform, you know, to become famous. It's not going to be a platform for you to get your name out there. It's a platform for you to represent the Kashmiri people, and people need to understand that. It's not an ego trip. It's not a, you know, it's nothing like that. And I think our people are some of the people that are.
I will tell you, sorry to interject, I'll tell you, you know, for us guys here, born and bred here, I think you're right. Yeah, no ego trip. But I think some of the elders, this is the only way they have an identity and a bit of respect, and say they will then misuse the cause of freeing Kashmir for their own personal gains. And I think we have to call it out. You know, we go there with the right intention. You know, no egos, no public platforms, no, you know, need for speeches. If it happens, fine. You know, but people are there demanding that I have a mic, and if not, they will then do their best to derail and make sure that demonstration or whatever it is not successful. You know, and I think it has to be said. So unfortunately, I think we know it needs to be united, but it's unfortunately it's
a
not
hard
happening.
part getting that done.
You know, so and another thing, I don't want to be pessimistic. That's not me. But you know what? I almost guarantee that by the time, you know, we pass away or I pass away, that this Kashmir issue will still not be resolved because we cannot be united. We will not be united. And if we can't be united, how can we talk in with one single voice to other people to fight and speak on our behalf?
Very true. I
don't want to leave on a pessimistic note. That's not me. But you know, reality is reality. I'm now 40.
We need to be optimistic a bit. I think a bit of optimism will be good.
I agree.
A bit of optimism will be good in this situation. We need to give our you know, people a chance. You know, we need to see if somebody will make a difference. You know, if the lobbying will make a difference. We need to keep people's spirits up. You know, fair enough, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, if people have been lobbying and you know, the international community haven't heard their voices, they haven't acted, or they haven't done anything to support or to help the Kashmir issue, then that's a different thing. But because it's at such an early stage at the moment, you know, you've got to be a bit more.
70 years.
No, the issue now. The issue now is different from what it was 70 years ago.
I think I bet you, I personally think within 2 months, you know, when the winter sets in, everyone's gonna be forgetting about 370 and 35A.
Yeah, they might surprise you.
I think what the UN needs to do is just give a chance for the people living in Jammu Kashmir a referendum.
Yeah, and absolutely. That's
then
key.
It's up to them. Whoever they want.
It's a resolution that was passed by them in 1948. You know, and if they're not going to adhere to what they've given them, then it's
they're not fit for purpose. They're not, UN is not fit for purpose, and you know what is it there for if you can't even implement its own UN resolutions? I agree. But again, we know the UN lacks teeth. It's not going to implement, enforce any UN resolution. It never has. It never will. When unless you've got the permanent 5 UN members saying so, and we know that's not going to happen.
Well, let's hope that things improve for the Kashmiri people. Let's hope that the situation changes for the better.
One thing I must say, and that's a positive, and note I think I want to sort of also express is that, you know, I was born here. I've never been to Jammu Kashmir.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we live in Azad Kashmir, but there is a strong affiliation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a strong kinship
Yes.
with the people of Jammu Kashmir. When they suffer, we suffer. You know, if you ask anyone to spend their weekend, the day off outside in the cold demonstrating, it's very hard to. But the Kashmiris do so.
Yeah.
So that is a positive. That
So
is a
there
blessing.
you go. So
There
there
is a blessing.
yeah.
There is a blessing there.
There is hope.
There is
there
hope,
is hope,
and
yeah.
we have to have hope. Otherwise,
And I think, you know, Ali, you've got this pessimistic approach. You're saying maybe in 20, 30, 40 years' time. You know, we don't know what the situation will be in a month's time, let alone in 20 years' time. So let's hope that people
no,
take
absolutely.
note.
But I think
And,
I've got to sort of just come in there, Anis, because I'm only going on by what's happened in the last 30 or 40 years. Since I was a child, been accompanying my father, my late father, and I have not seen a change. The same old faces, doing the same old tricks, you know, coming there, coming back home. Mm-hmm. Nothing's changed. If you can tell me what's changed in the last 40 years,
we need to.
A bit of a glimmer of hope, I would say, yeah, fantastic.
You've said the same old faces, so we need to get the youth involved.
Absolutely, yes. That is the way forward.
We need to get the youth involved, and we need to
educate them.
Yeah. And
so
we need to get them involved. We need to sort of direct them. They need guidance, they need direction, they need understanding. And that's the main point of call, I think, for anybody here, especially with the Kashmir issue, because people don't know what it is, people don't understand.
We need workshops.
People go to protests and they don't even know what the issue of Kashmir is.
You know,
it's like a social gathering.
You ask people at the demonstrations, oh, what's this 370, 35A?
They won't have a clue.
Well, what are you asking me for? I don't know. You know, but
I think it's great what Anis is doing, bringing this issue
absolutely
onto this platform where we can raise awareness on Kashmir.
I think congratulations to ZMC as well.
Yeah.
To the real story.
Yeah.
You know, there's no topic that's going to be off limits.
Yeah.
You know, so fair play. And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
We're here to bring and to voice the issues that need to be voiced, that need to be addressed. So that's our job on ZMC TV, is to bring those issues and to voice those issues on here.
I think something's got to come to me, you know. If you're of a Jewish background, the Israeli government allow you to go in there, do like a student exchange, to come and look at Israel, what it's all about, your history. I don't know whether we can do something similar. Some of our younger generation, you know, go you know, just to sort of flavour and see what it's about.
The culture.
Yeah. And you know, before you know it, they'll be thinking, okay, I want to go there rather than going to Turkey.
But I think the main thing is they need to understand their identity from their parents, from their grandparents.
That goes without saying. Absolutely. And I think because at the moment we're sort of too readily going to other countries. You know, we need to realise that that is where our roots are. You know, that's where, you know, we've got, you know, legacy there, you know, our land, our, you know, there's been a recent earthquake as well. You know, again, people are very good at donating and helping out. You know, when anything happens in Kashmir.
I think with the British Kashmiri community in general, I think there is a strong affiliation with Kashmir.
No doubt.
Definitely.
Yeah, there is. So I think they need to be very forward in what they do now in respect of Kashmir, because it's all well and good having the affiliation with Kashmir or being of Kashmiri descent, but not, you know, advocating the issue of Kashmir. That's right. That's, you know, that's on the platform now that we're talking about. So I think the main thing is obviously education, as you said. So obviously that's the main thing. We need to educate the people, and we need to bring the issue out in the open, and we need to address what the issues are.
I think definitely what Mr. Ali was saying about education, educating the young people as well as the elderly people as well. Some of them don't even know what the issue is of Kashmir.
No, absolutely.
So if we can, using this platform or by holding workshops, seminars, just to raise awareness on Kashmir, is a great thing.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to have to stop you there, guys. Unfortunately, we're nearly out of time. I'd like to thank everybody who's watched this show. I hope it's been very informative. I'd like to thank Mr. Ali.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Aleem.
Thank you.
For both coming onto the show. And I'd like to thank ZMC TV for allowing us to cover this issue. Stay tuned, and we'll be covering other issues We'll be covering the issue of the Rohingya, we'll be covering the issue of domestic violence, we'll be bringing issues such as knife crime, some political issues, there'll be legal issues we'll be bringing on board. So stay tuned and keep watching, and hopefully you'll see us on our second episode of The Real Story. Thank you, and have a pleasant afternoon or evening. Take care. Bye bye.